Hi everyone, Jack from 英作文会話 Community here again. 英作文会話コミュニティでは TOEIC や英検対策のレッスンを始めました。今日はこんな風にレッスン進めていきますよというサンプルビデオを作りましたので、どうぞ最後までご覧ください。Let's get into it. Alright, so here we are in the lesson. So today we are going to be giving a sample lesson for our ACAN and TOEIC style lessons. So Reiko-san is kind enough to help us today, and we are going to be looking at ACAN practice questions for pre-level 1. So let's jump into it. Here are the questions we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking at question number 10 and 11 today for our example. And if you're interested in finding these questions, you can find them on ACAN's website. So please go check them out. And yeah, let's get into it. So the first question we're going to look at is number 10. So before the lesson, we ask that you please search any words that you didn't know. So Reiko-san, we're doing pre-1 here, pre-1 level, so very difficult words today.
Yeah, it's really difficult.
Yeah. So
I searched a lot of words.
I see. Yeah, so for question 10, were there any words that you searched and you had some questions about or didn't quite understand?
I searched 3 words. First is the 5th word from the beginning. I
word?
also, the meaning, and also I didn't know how to pronounce.
Yeah, the spelling is very strange. So this is thoroughly. Yeah.
Thoroughly.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah, thoroughly.
Thoroughly.
Yeah. Why don't I write it? It might be a little easier to understand. So let me just write it here. So yeah, the spelling on this word is very strange, right?
Wow.
So this is pronounced like thoroughly or lee, right? So thoroughly.
Thoroughly.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, thoroughly.
Okay.
Yeah, very good. And the meaning of this word. So thoroughly is similar to words like a lot or completely.
Yeah, I thought.
Yeah. So
but I didn't know how different the word completely and thoroughly.
Yeah, so actually if you look at completely and thoroughly, both of these are ly words. So these are adverbs, right? So fukushi. So completely means like 100%, right? This is like doing something 100%, right? And where's my percent? Okay. And thoroughly is like a lot, a very high level, but maybe not 100%. Maybe like 98 or 99% instead of 100. So very thorough. This feels like taking your time and doing something carefully and to the end. Yeah, it kind of has the feeling of like careful, nuance of careful, carefully, but a lot. Yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Oh, good. All right, let's go back to our questions. All right, so thoroughly. And what were the other words you had questions about?
Impartial, the choice.
The answer. Okay. Well, before we talk about any of the words that are answers, why don't we read the sentence and why don't you tell me what answer you chose?
そうだよね.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so will you read the question, and when you're reading it, please put your answer in the blank.
Okay. Nadine spends an hour thoroughly cleaning her apartment every day, so the entire place is spotless.
Very good. Yes, spotless. So you chose number 1.
Yes.
And you are correct. Spotless. Yeah, very nice. So, can you tell me why you chose this word?
Spotless, I imagine that 場所がない. So, thatナディーンはクリーニングして完璧だからもう掃除する場所がないみたいな。
I see. I see. But if you look at this, we can shorten this to the place is 場所がない。That doesn't make sense, does it?
あ、そうなんだ。
Yeah, but you are correct. So I think the difference here is this word spot. So it does mean like place, right? This spot is good, right? But it has one more meaning. So it can mean like a dirty spot on your shirt or on your
シミとかスポットっていうもんね。
Yes, exactly. So,
I see.
Yeah, and then this less part is like without, right? So we can say like without a dirty spot, without a shimi, right?
I
So,
understand.
yeah, so actually a quick way you can correctly pick the answer is spotless is almost always used with cleaning, right? It has the feeling of something is very clean. So you could also say spotless means like 100% clean, right? Very, very clean. Right? So if you see this word cleaning and spotless, they go together.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, very good. Okay. All right. So you also had a question on number 4, impartial, right?
Impartial. I searched the meaning in Japanese, 公平な, but
Yeah.
some words, similar words exist, so I a bit confusing.
Yeah, so like 公平, maybe we translate that to like fair in English, right? Something like that. Yeah, so the difference between, so impartial, do you know the word biased? Have you heard that word, biased?
We, sometimes use for katakana English in Japan.
I see. Oh, good. So so you can think of impartial as not biased or unbiased, right? Impartial. So oftentimes we use impartial with like people, right? So we would say like, if you think of like a trial, right? If you go to court, we would say the judge is impartial. That means he is not biased towards one person, right? And with fair is a similar word, right? So fair is often used with things, right? So we would say like, okay, so why don't we go back to whiteboard here?
Okay. Fair.
So we have impartial. So this is used with mostly with people, right? So an example of this is the judge is impartial. And then fair, I would say, is mostly used with things, right? So an example of this would be the laws are fair. Right? So can you see here? I'm saying the judge is impartial or the laws are fair.
Makes sense.
Yeah, you got it?
I got it.
Yeah. Were there any other words you were confused about with impartial, or is impartial okay?
Okay.
All right, awesome. Okay. Any other questions you had on any of the other answers or any words for number 10?
No.
All right.
Okay.
All right, you're okay? All right, then let's move on to question number 11.
Okay.
So why don't I first ask, were there any words in the question that you didn't understand? Or you had a question about?
はない。question はなくて、I didn't understand 4 words for the answer.
All 4?
I searched meaning.
I see. All right. Well, before we start talking about the answers, why don't you please read the sentence and tell me what your answer was when you were reading.
After many poor performances, the rugby player was demoted from his club's first team to its second team.
Very good. So you chose number 3, demoted.
Yeah.
Why did you choose that word?
I translate the questions and only the words falsehood.
I see. Can you give me a simple explanation of what demoted means in English?
to go to the down level.
Ah, very good. Yeah. Yeah,
Is it?
exactly. So in this example, we have first team and second team, right? So first team is like number 1 and second team is below. So demoted is to move down. So let me ask you, do you know the word that means the opposite of demoted?
Maybe I know, promoted.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Promoted. Yes. Very nice. Very nice. This is a much more common word, right? So
そっちの方がいいよね。
yeah. Promoted. Yeah. So let me write it down here on the whiteboard. Yeah. So we have demoted, and the opposite of that is promoted. So promoted is much more often used because we use it at work, right? So if you are at work and you get promoted to kacho, right? We call that promoted, right? So yes, very good word to remember. And yeah, demoted is much more rare that we use this, but it means the opposite. It means to go down. Very good. So like I said before, yeah, we have Team 1 and Team 2, and the rugby player moved down from Team 1 to Team 2. Very good. All right, is that okay? Is demoted okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Any other questions on the other words?
I searched the word inclined, the first answer. They have 2 meanings.
Ah, yeah.
So, is it adjective or what's that one?
Okay.
なんか one of them are steep.
Right. So one of the first meaning of inclined, right, is like steep. Like, so we would say the road was inclined. So that means it's steep, right?
Road it was inclined.
Yes. So we could say. We could say. So let's talk about inclined. So yeah, we could say the road was inclined, or we could also say the road was at an incline. But that's inclined, so this is a different word. All right, so yeah, the road was inclined. So do you know the second meaning of incline?
Yeah, I searched, and the similar word is tendency.
Very good. Yeah, so we have steep is number 1 and number 2. Tendency. Very good word. Yeah. So this just means you naturally do something, right? You naturally have a habit of doing something, right? So we could say, I have a tendency to use my right hand, right? So if you are right-handed, migi-kiki, you have a tendency to use your right hand, right? You naturally want to use your right hand instead of your left, right? I'm sorry. But we don't want to use tendency. We want to use the word inclined. So we would say, instead of that, we would say, to use inclined, we would say, I am inclined to use my right hand most of the time.
ちょっとなんていうの、丁寧な表現 incline.
Yeah, it's a little more formal.
Formal.
And actually, you'll notice that I added this part most of the time. So, inclined is usually used with one instance or one situation, right? So, this would be like one situation. And tendency means like, in many situations, I usually do this, right? So this has a feeling of like repeating And inclined is like one time only.
あ
So let me write
あ、
that. So inclined is like one time or one situation. And tendency is like a habit or repeating, right?
もう every time って感じね。
Yeah. So because in this example, to use my right hand, I need to say I am inclined to use my right hand for this one situation.
あ
Or I can add this most of the time.
そっかそっか。
And this gives the feeling of usually, right? But tendency already has that nuance inside of it, so I don't need it.
じゃあその most of time の代わりに usually を使ってもいいの？
I'm inclined to use my right hand. I would change where I put it. I would say I am inclined to usually use my right hand.
あ、そっか。usually の位置がそこにな
Yeah,
るの。
yeah. So let me write that one.
Okay. うんうん。
This one sounds a little bit strange. So I will say
あ、ストレンジなの？
it's correct. This is correct, but I wouldn't say this sentence. I think
Okay.
speaking tendency sounds much more natural. I have a tendency to
see.
use my right hand. You can see here, it's the shortest sentence, right? And usually when we're speaking, we tend to use shorter words. And like we said before, inclined is a little more formal or a little more polite. All right. Any other questions on problem number 11? Was there anything
No.
else? No, you're okay?
I understand. Yes.
All right. So I want to point out kind of a trick that you can use. So in this situation, even if you don't know the meaning of these words, this might be a little difficult to know, but for me, I know inclined is impossible. And the reason is inclined cannot be used with from. We cannot say inclined from. We always say inclined to do something, right? Same with clinched. We cannot say clinched from. We usually say clinched noun, right? Demoted, we know, demoted from. Demoted, like we said before, has that feeling of moving from team 1 to team 2, right? And adapted can be used with from. So you would have to know adapted. So for me as a native speaker, just looking at this word from, I know it must be question 3 or 4. So this is kind of difficult to remember, but grammar-wise, you can also use this method to make the question a little bit easier. Yeah. Is that okay?
But
Yeah.
前置詞 is really difficult for
Yeah.
me. But ちゃんと覚えます。
Yeah. All right. All right. Any other questions on this problem? Or are we good to
No.
wrap up? All right.
Thank
All
you.
right. Yeah, thank you. So with that, we've finished number 11. So we can end the sample here. But thank you so much, Reiko-san, for helping us.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
ありがとう、ジャック先生。
Yeah.
勉強になりました。
oh, good. Oh, good. And yeah, this was pre-level 1, so very difficult and complicated English. So if the explanation was a little difficult to understand or you didn't know any of the words in the video today, don't worry. We will match your level with the lesson and the practice questions we're doing. So don't worry, but Reiko-san is quite advanced, so she's pre-level 1.
No.
We're doing these difficult questions, but
No.
yeah.
勉強します。精進します。
yeah.
はい。
Yeah. But thank you so much. And
Thank you.
let's go back to my usual camera and I will wrap it up. But thank you so much,
あり
Reiko-san.
がと
See
う。
you. Yeah.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
レッスンが終わったら授業の中で書いたメモと授業に使ったテキストの一部を音声にしてメールでお送りします。シャドーイングやディクテーションのぴったりの教材になりますので、ぜひご活用ください。And that's the video! 最後までご覧いただきありがとうございます。最初のレッスンは半額で受講できますので、ぜひ下の説明文にあるリンクからレッスンを受けてみてください。That's all for this video though. Thank you so much for watching and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!